Have you been trying everything to rehab your groin strain and nothing really seems to be working? Let us show you how to rehab it the right way with prehab. Hey prehabbers, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Craig Lindell here, and today I'm here to show you how to manage and rehab groin strains. Before we get to groin strains, we need to define what a muscle strain is. So a muscle strain occurs when there is an increased stretch through the tissue as it tries to work at a load it cannot support or handle. This increased stretch is so bad and significant that it leads to bad tearing and disruption of the muscle fibers. Most muscle strains actually happen at the musculo-tendinous junction. This is where the muscle meets the tendon, which then attaches to the bone. So in this case, the groin muscles, where it attaches to the bone at the pelvis. When we look at the anatomy of the groin muscles, we see that there are several muscles that make up the groin. These include the adductor magnus, adductor brevis, adductor longus, gracilis, obturator externus, and pectineus, to name a few. That was quite a few. All of these muscles play a role in adduction of the hip, and the adductor longus specifically plays a role in external rotation of the hip and hip flexion, while the adductor magnus posterior fibers play a role in hip extension due to its attachment on the ischial tuberosity. Understanding the muscles of the groin and which movements they impose on the hip joint will help us put together the ideal rehab program to help manage groin strains. But we also need to understand what type of movements and activities, as well as what type of athlete is likely to deal with a groin strain. When the hip is prompted through a quick range of motion from hip adduction to abduction, the adductor muscle group is contracted, followed by a quick stretch. If the stretch occurs through a range of motion that is too large or at a really high load due to velocity that the muscle cannot handle, an adductor strain may be inevitable. Typically, this is going to occur in hockey goalies, soccer players, lacrosse players, and especially sprinting athletes. In fact, research has shown that the prevalence of a groin strain in ice hockey goalies and soccer players is up to 11%. So if a groin strain happens, what exercises can be done to rehab that groin strain? Let's find out. So let's begin with low-level, phase 1 groin muscle strain exercises. When dealing with a muscle strain, regardless of which muscle it is, we want to find ways to use and activate that muscle without causing any more damage. This helps to facilitate the healing process, it's going to help with pain management, and it actually allows for a quicker return of range of motion and being able to do normal daily activities. The best way to do this is with isometric exercises within pain tolerance, because isometric exercises activate the muscle and put tension on the muscle fibers without changing the length of the muscle fibers. Thus, they tend to be better tolerated than concentric or eccentric exercises early on. The key here is to pick body positions that do not put the muscle in too much stretch, as this could actually cause more damage to the already damaged muscle fibers, hence delaying the healing process. As you are making progress with isometric exercises, the sooner that you can actually begin moving your body and your hip dynamically while activating those groin muscles, the better. This will help with restoring full hip range of motion that's pain-free, and more importantly, you will begin practicing and tolerating activating those groin muscles in different positions with the muscle fibers themselves actually in different positions. Thus, they'll be worked when they're shortened, they'll also be worked when they're lengthened. This is a good thing. As you're feeling better, the most important part of groin rehab is building up resilience and tissue tolerance of the adductor muscle group. Remember, the adductor magnus plays a role in hip extension, especially in the last 30 degrees of hip extension. So we certainly want to work on improving posterior chain strength in those positions. All right, let's be honest. We've showed you a lot of exercises so far, but not everyone has time or the interest to do all those exercises. So if you had to pick one exercise to try to get your groin strain better, this is the one to do, the Copenhagen adductor. Basically, it's gonna look like a side plank, but we're gonna be using our top leg and the muscles on the inside of our thigh working with the exercise. So after you accomplish doing the side lying hip adduction exercise without any issue, you wanna get to this exercise as fast as possible. I like using a foam pad just because it feels better on your forearm and your elbow. Also, a lot of our patients and clients prefer this. And then you just need the surface. We use the bench here at the office. And to start with this exercise, you gotta kind of fine tune where the pad is to get your body set up. But we're going to begin with our knee supported on the bench. Now we're not gonna sag. We're going to push tall through our shoulder. We're going to push down into the bench with the inside of our knee. And I want you to think like you're bridging, push your hips forward. And last but not least, doing the focus on like you're doing a crunch. Keep your abs tight. You can keep that bottom leg bent and you're holding this for as long as you can until you start dealing with too much pain that you can't tolerate or you simply get tired. And you should feel all the muscles on the inside of your thigh working with this exercise, as well as your abs. Now, once that gets easy, and once you get to the dynamic exercises like we've spoken about, what you want to do is you want to make this exercise dynamic. So nice and slow, go to lower your body down and then bring it back up. Go to lower your body down and bring it back up. What you're doing is your hip relative to your body is actually going into abduction. So you're controlling that motion eccentrically and then working through it concentrically. Last but not least, when you can tolerate it, the goal is you're gonna perform the same exercise with the leg straight. You don't have to do this giant jump where you go from your knee to the ankle. You can get your shin supported and you can keep working further and further and further out. But ideally, we get to this position and we have that bottom leg straight as well. Think of squeezing the bench. If you have a bench, you're literally trying to squeeze it with both legs as hard as you can. And you start out isometrically with good form. And then ideally, if you can go dynamically as well and just move from your hip, lower down and tap if you don't have too much space. The goal is move as slow as possible and be able to control the motion with good form, and your groin strain will get better just with this exercise. Here's a really important question that we get all the time. Should you be stretching your groin strain? In short, we know that improving strength and resilience of the tissue is going to give you long-term benefits better than constantly stretching your groin muscle. But the reality is stretching can help with symptom relief and restoring range of motion, as long as you do it the right way. So dynamic stretches are going to be your best friend throughout the groin strain rehab process, in addition to performing eccentric exercises, which lengthen and strengthen your muscle fibers at the same time. All right, prehabbers, we encourage you to try a few of these groin exercises if and when dealing with a groin strain. Also, if you're looking for more guidance and you want to take the guesswork out of your rehab, be sure to check out the Groin Rehab and the Groin Prehab program on the Prehab app. You won't regret it. Until next time, see ya.
Hey, did you like this video? If you did, you should definitely check out the Prehab app. It includes all of our programs, a brand new workout library, and tons more videos like the one you saw today. Check it out by clicking on this link. You get a free trial. Take control of your health today.